up, dudes? Jason in the house. It's just me hanging with my bros. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, just want to let you guys know, thanks for subbing to my channel, not my brother's lame ass channel. I'm not up to 18 subscribers, so kind of a big deal. So whatever. If you want to watch this stupid ass Truststone guy he's making, then cool, but you know where I'll be. Beach season. Beach season. What's up, everybody? My name is Kason, and welcome back to another War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video. Today is going to be kind of a part 2 to my Truststone Ultimate Guide. So if you haven't seen that part 1 video, the link is down in the description. I highly encourage you to watch that first before you watch this, just so that everything makes sense that I'm talking about. Today, what we're going to go over is some stat breakdowns of some things that I didn't cover in the first video. I'm also going to talk about some favorite sets that I like universally, and I'm also going to talk about passives that I like universally. That is mainly going to be the emphasis of this video, is creating trust stones for people that don't want to switch their trust stones out a lot. I may make another part to this guide series later down the line, a part 3, talking more specifically about specific trust stones for units and stuff like that. But mainly what this is going to focus on is universal trust stones that work on a lot of characters and how to organize them. And I'm going to show you how I have my trust stones organized, just so I can kind of give you some tips on that. So without further ado, let's get into this guide. So the first thing that I want to do is, I didn't cover this in my very first video, and I just wanted to show this real quick, so I'll give you guys a little graphic so that you can hold on to and use and stuff like that when you're building your trust stones. It's the Truststone passive stats. So when you create a trust stone and level them up to level 20, they have the little option to temper the trust stone, and that essentially changes the stats on the trust stone. These values here are essentially the minimum to highest value that you can have on that trust stone when it is level 20. I highly encourage you to only temper trust stones once you have them at level 20, so you know what final value you will get on that trust stone. So for the left side, you have HP, TP, crit evade for the I, J is HP, TP, evade, and P is HP, TP, luck. So you can see HP and TP are on all three of these. For the most part, I just don't care about TP, and I care a lot about HP. If you are focusing very specifically on an accuracy or an evasion build, you may want to focus luck or evade or things like that. But again, these are all personal preference, whatever you guys want to do on your Truststone sets. I personally like maxing HP for my HP set, and I like maxing luck for my luck set. On the offensive side, very similar over here. Attack, magic, and dex are on all three of these, and then it's accuracy, crit rate, and AP for the 3 trust stones. A special shout out to the AP stat. I think this is something that could be really, really important, and you might want to emphasize getting 22 AP rather than 35 attack or magic or something like that, depending on the character that's using it. If you had a total of 6 AP compared to a total of 22 AP, that could be the difference of like 3 starting AP, which is pretty substantial for fights. So this is a stat that I really try to focus on if I can. Otherwise, pick and choose whatever you want. I always try and at least max one stat on these, so pick the stat that you want and temper until you get it maxed. So now that little stat breakdown is out of the way, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. And the biggest thing that I want to express here is I want to show you essentially what I would do if I was creating trust stones for the very first time. If I had to completely redo all my trust stones and stuff like that, how would I start over? How would I begin? And it would be going by this. So I would pick one of 2 sets. And basically my question would be, do I fight evasion units or don't I fight evasion units? If you're one of those people that just avoids evasion at all, don't pay attention to this luck set and do the HP set instead. I will have another slide going over the HP set, and we'll go over that in a little bit. However, if you don't want the pain of worrying about having accuracy for evasion units, and then you don't want the pain of having to go into a fight and just having no chance of hitting them, a luck set is very good universally. Now, I want to express to you that this is not the best in slot set in every single situation. I'm not saying that whatsoever, because this game is extremely complex. It depends on what character you are running, what TMR you're running, who you're going against, all those different things. But if you are one of those people that are intimidated by trust stones, then you want just 3 sets of trust stones to slap on your characters and you want them to have a positive impact on your team, I'm going to show you how I would do that. What I would do is I would pick a letter, and for me personally, it's the P letter, the prosperity rune. And what I would do is I would create a luck set, and I would take a max HP up passive and a luck up passive. Now, these are the values of the starting to ending values. If you're not sure what the total values are, I will also post a graphic down below that I've created showing all the maximum values of the passives. Anyway, let's continue. So I would pick the P rune, and I'm going to make 3 luck sets. I'm going to make 3 P luck trust stones, and all of them are going to have max HP up, and all of them are going to have luck up. I'm going to make 3 luck I trust stones. All of them are going to have crit evasion, and all of them are going to have slash attack resist. Now, whatever you guys want to do, if you pick a different passive that you want on here, by all means, go for it. My thought process behind this is I create these 2 letters here with these 4 passives and keep them on the same letters every time so that they're useful on everybody who runs them. HP is always valuable. Any person who wants luck wants more luck. Critical evasion is always a good stat to have. And there's so much slash attack in this game that I really think you can't really go wrong just having an extra 7 slash attack resist. What this does, keeping these passives on these 2 specific letters, is it opens up flexibility for our last rune. So if we get these 2 created, we never have to switch them out. All we ever have to worry about for our luck set creating a new trust stone is this J rune. And now we can create whatever we want with it. With this luck set, if we say, well, I want to fight against light evasion, and that's why I'm creating a luck set, well, now we could create a trust stone like this. We could create a light attack resist up 7 with agility debuff resist 50. Elena's limit break debuffs your agility. Well, now all of a sudden you have a 50% chance of ignoring that agility debuff. That's pretty important for fights and stuff like that. Getting your turn order, making sure you don't get lapped, different things like that. Well, now all of a sudden, if you're fighting light, you have these, which are very good against light. You have slash attack resist, which is good against light. Same with crit evade. You have HP and luck. All of these things are super useful. Well, now if you say, actually, I want to fight against dark. You know, I want to go against Leela and Joker and all those guys. Well, these stats are still very valuable on them. They are dodgy enough to the point where you probably want some luck still. Critical evasion is always good. They do have slash pen, but it's still useful. They still have slash attacks. And now maybe you create a trust stone like this. Now I have 7 dark resist, and let's grab some blind resist. I don't want to get blinded by little Leela. I think you guys essentially see where I'm going with this, but if you create 2 trust stones that are universally just fantastic for everybody, now this opens up flexibility, and when you want to create a specific set to counter one specific thing, you don't have to create 3 brand new trust stones. You only have to create 1. If I was doing a luck set against an earth team, I might also grab earth resist and pierce resist, and that just fills in the spot instead of this trust stone. If you want just a generic good rune and you say, I don't want to ever switch out any of them, keep these 2, and I would throw something like this on: 25 attack type debuff resist and 25 element debuff resist. This game, especially in the future, is getting more and more debuffs in terms of attack types and elemental breaks and stuff like that. And having a 25% chance that that break doesn't happen can be a huge damage mitigation, and I think it is something that's a bit overlooked. Now, to go over the HP set, the thought process is the exact same thing. However, if you're creating an HP set, you might not necessarily need that luck up 10%. If you're running HP, you probably either have guaranteed hits to deal with evasion, or you're just not fighting evasion at all. In this situation, you could do something slightly different for your universal set. However, whatever abilities you choose to use, keep them the same for these 2 letters on your trust stones. So if you decide on P, I want to have max HP up and crit evade, because those are both 2 universally good things to have, we'll make all 3 of your HP sets have this for the P rune. And then for the I rune, do the same thing. If you just want those debuff resists for attack type and element, make 3 of those. That way you never have to worry about like swapping them in for different TMRs, different people and stuff like that, and then not having things mesh well, right? If on one trust stone you have the HP up on P and then you have a different one that's I max HP up, well, now all of a sudden those are not flexible. You cannot swap them in and out, and you're going to have weird overlap issues that just makes it tougher and tougher. You're going to have to make more and more trust stones. So help yourself out. If you are getting into this process and making these trust stones, set yourself a goal before you go into it. Decide, okay, I'm making 3 luck sets
and I'm going to keep these very specific 2 passives on P&I. I know it sounds like I'm probably beating a dead horse, but I promise you this is going to make it so much easier for you. It's going to save so much time in the long run so that you don't have to recreate trust stones like I'm doing currently, because my trust stones that I all made in the beginning, I didn't care about which passives were on which rune. What I did was I said, hey, for my cloud, I want these 6 specific passives. Great. I didn't care which rune they were on. Well, now all of a sudden, if I want to swap them to somebody else who wants to run those same types of sets, now I have issues because, you know, I want to run Astrius with those runes. Well, that lightning attack that he has on top of the defense pen doesn't really work, right? He doesn't want that lightning attack. He just wants the defense pen. So you see where I'm going this, but keeping these together helps diversify it so you can slap them on anybody you want. The same type of thing, if you had these 2, you can make this last J1 unique, right? If you want to fight a fire team, maybe you want fire resist up and berserk resist up. You want to fight wind against those Sottily teams, you want wind resist, maybe you want charm resist up. Earth and pierce, you see where I'm going for this, but you can keep these 2 very generic, very useful, and just only worry about swapping out that 1 trust stone to combat whoever you're facing. So the last set that I want to go over is an offensive set, and please ignore these letters here. I accidentally forgot to swap these out for offensive. This would be like A, T, and G. The concept still applies the same way though. Essentially, if this was the G rune, I would make all 3 of my G aim runes dexterity up and acquired AP up, or something like that, that affects everybody fairly well. You know, if I didn't want acquired AP, I could do dex and reaction block rate or something like that. I'm also going to make one that's just critical based, right? I can make the A rune critical rate up and critical damage up. That way I have 4 passives that are very good no matter pretty much who I slap them on, and I can make the last one unique. So if these were T runes down here, well, maybe I have an attack-based character, I could throw on 20% attack up and 10 defense pen. And if I have a magic-based character, I have 20% magic and 10 spirit pen. So to have this pretty good universal set, this only requires 4 total aim runes, and they pretty much work on anybody you want. The one thing that I'm going to note here is I say here, this just assumes that you're running an accuracy piece of gear on your character. If you're not running something like an Alexandrite ring, I highly recommend replacing this and putting dex with accuracy. That way you have that accuracy boost to your characters. However, if you're going versus evasion, you might want a piece of accuracy gear on top, which oftentimes gives more than the 10 accuracy boost on the passive, and that is why I didn't leave it on here on this slide. So now for this part of this video, I want to show you how I organize my trust stones, and I want to show you some examples of some good ones that are very universal and some examples that are not so universal. So this is a spreadsheet that I made, and I basically have it sorted in a number of ways. So this number is the order of the trust stone that is in my game in terms of when I created them. So sorted by obtained. I can sort them this way, which sorts them by letter. So T, P, J, I, G, and A, different things like that. I can sort them by type, and I could even sort them by ability, even though I'm really probably not going to do that. So just to take you through here, this is how I sort them. And I'm not saying that you guys have to do this and stuff like that, but if you are getting to the point where it's starting to get overwhelming for your trust stones and you want to organize them, make yourself a little spreadsheet. I think it can be really useful. Now, what I want to show you here are some trust stones that I really like and some trust stones that I don't like so much. So to give you an example, a trust stone that I don't like very much, this one right here, I have this Triumph Aim trust stone, and you're going to see that I have magic attack up 10 and slash attack up 10 on it. This is not a very good universal trust stone. This is a very specific trust stone to one character. This is a trust stone I made for Ibarra, and this is basically based on what kind of gear I run for her. I typically do not have a weapon on her that gives her magic attack up 10. So I made this trust stone because I wanted her to have magic attack up modifier and slash attack up modifier. This was the third trust stone that I ever made because I made a set for her first before anyone else. If I had to redo this, I would definitely do this differently. I actually have another trust stone here. So if I go into my aim build and we're going to highlight this one here, this is another Truststone that I use on Ibarra. It has accuracy up 10 and slash attack resist piercing rate up 10. Now, what I should have done really is I should have paid more attention to this, and I should have had the slash attack up 10 with the slash attack resist piercing rate up 10. That's a much more universal Truststone. It's something that more characters can get use out of both passives. There's so many characters that are not going to use both magic attack and slash attack. So this brings up my whole point earlier on why you want to have them organized and have passives that make sense together. So if I were to scroll down here, I've recently made 3 Truststones that are really, really strong in my opinion. So if I come to this prosperity section, there's 3 prosperity luck Truststones here that I have max HP up and luck up on. This one is not fully leveled up, but they're the same passive. So this means that no matter what, if I'm running somebody with a luck set, I no longer ever have to make another luck Truststone. There's 3 max HP ups and there's 3 luck up 10s. This is exactly what I want, and I don't have to worry about overlap or anything like that. If I go up to, if I switch the letter here, idealism luck, same type of thing, right? I have my slash attack resist and my critical evasion. So this is a situation where if I'm running a luck set on characters, I'm good to go with my I runes, good to go with my P runes, and all I have to do now is create some J runes that I want to use depending on who I'm facing. So if I go here to Justice, here's my Justice luck runes that I can work on. So as I said before, there's one here where if I want to fight light, I just throw this light rune in with those 2 generic ones. If I want to fight against dark, I can throw this one in with the other 2 generic ones. And just pretty much exactly how it goes, right? So whatever you want to do on that third one is totally up to you, but I highly encourage making 2 very universal, flexible runes and keep them on the exact same letter. That way you don't have to worry about making any more. You don't have to worry about overlap. Do these Truststones work together? You know that they always will. And for this part of the video, I wanted to show you what I'm doing on my Smurf account here. This is how I'm making my Truststones as if I'm brand new, and it is a very good way of organizing, and I just think it's really helpful for those people who haven't done this yet. This can be a really good jumping off point for you. I think one of the issues that people have is they just see this as a really overwhelming thing. They don't know what passives they want to make. This is the easiest way, in my opinion, to do it. So this is a brand new account. These are the Truststones that I have. I have 3 P runes and I have them favorited, and you're going to see why. So if I scroll through here, I'm going to click this very first Truststone. I have the 2 passives that I want on my P runes, just like I have on my main account, the exact same system. So I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. It has max HP up and luck up on this P rune. I'm going to continue forward, as you're going to see here. Second rune, same thing, 4% max HP, same thing on the third one. So my P luck runes are good to go. If I'm running an evasion team, I could run them with these luck runes. If I'm going against evasion, I could run them with these luck runes. And I'm set to go on P runes. I never have to think about that letter basically ever again if I don't want to, unless I want to create something very specifically targeted for a character. To continue on, I'm now working on the I Truststones, so I have 2 slash attack resist up Truststones. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep creating I until I get 3 I luck Truststones with those 2 passives that I want. So I come in here, I forge, I'm showing that you want to click this do not display confirmation dialog. The easiest way to do this is just to click that dismantle and reforge button. They've made this so much quicker than it used to be. It's insanely fast compared to how it was. So one last reforge here and we get the passive that we want, which is the critical evasion 5. And for those people that say this takes an extremely long time, I actually recorded this. So on this account, I have access to 22 dismantles. It took me about 2.5 minutes to do that. So for those players out there, if you're like a whale and you have 50 dismantles, should take you roughly 5 or 6 minutes to do this. And there's a good chance that you get 1 or 2 passives that you want in just one session like that. So I don't think it takes an insanely long time as long as you have a plan once you go into it. Now I'm going to show you here basically what I want to do. Just want to go to ability merge. I'm going to merge these 2 abilities, and now all of a sudden I have a complete, other than leveling, I Truststone of the luck version. I'm now going to dismantle the one that doesn't have abilities on it, and I'm going to continue this until I have those 3 I luck Truststones that I wanted to. Guys, I hope this was helpful. I know my first part of my Truststone guide was much more elaborate, talked about a lot of different things and stuff like that. This guide was really tailored towards those people who are still intimidated to get into the Truststone process, mainly because they don't know what abilities to use. And I think this is a really good jumping off point for people that they can get started, right? They can get those 2 Truststones, pick those 2 letters, keep them very consistent, and then you can just switch that 3rd Truststone up depending on who you're facing. I think it's a really good, clean system that makes you not have to stress about it so much, and I really hope this helps. Anyway, if you guys got value out of this video, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. We'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day.